In the tumult of World War II, the tranquility of a small Russian village was mercilessly shattered. 6-year-old Sergei Aleshkovsky, who should have been enjoying the carefree days of childhood with his mother and brother, saw his world turned upside down by the war. Today, let's delve into the legendary story of this 6-year-old boy and see how he lit a glimmer of hope with his innocence and courage amidst the flames of war. The movie opens with Sergei's family laughing by the river. He climbs to the top of a tree to show off to his mother and brother, but the roar of German fighter planes interrupts their joy. The mother asks her kids to quickly hide in the bushes, but the 6-year-old claims he is not scared and strikes the jet with a slingshot. To everyone's surprise, he manages to hit the jets and explode them. But when he looks around, his family is gone. Sergei wakes up frightened from the dream and calls for his mother. Just then, someone knocks on his door. Assuming it is his mother, he runs towards it, but a neighbor woman comes in panicking. The neighbor, with a look of panic, tells him that the Germans have attacked the village and that his mother and brother have been killed because his mother was part of an underground resistance group. The sound of German soldiers' footsteps grows closer, and the neighbor urges Sergei to escape through the window, but she is shot down. The village turns into a sea of flames, and 6-year-old Sergei stumbles into the forest, with the burning village and endless fear behind him. He runs, calling out, "Mommy!" tears blurring his vision, but he knows that survival is the only hope. Tattered clothes and shoes with only the soles left accompany him, with only memories of his family and fear of the unknown. The forest at night is freezing, and he curls up under a tree, dreaming of his mother's warm embrace, only to wake up with a little hedgehog as his companion. In the forest, Sergei begins his lonely journey of survival. Thirsty, he cups river water to drink. Hungry, he devours sour wild fruits. Once, he accidentally runs into a German patrol, and in desperation, hides in a crevice under a tree root. As he holds his breath, a poisonous snake slowly crawls toward him just a few centimeters away. Sergei widens his eyes, suppressing his fear, not daring to breathe. He fears the Germans more than the snake. Finally, the Germans finish eating and leave, leaving behind some canned scraps. Sergei carefully picks up these treasures, filling his empty stomach. However, by the end of the day, the little boy is exhausted. He hasn't had a proper meal in 2 days and has been walking aimlessly. He stumbles but doesn't stop. On the way, he sees wild berries and gulps them down. Just then, an explosion behind him startles him. The boy starts to feel dizzy and hallucinates that someone is coming from behind. Yet, even in this state, he stands bravely and tells the person he has a rifle and isn't afraid. He limps forward but eventually faints. As he sleeps, 2 soldiers approach him. The scene shifts to a Russian military base where Commander Kuznetsov awaits his patrolling soldiers. They bring in the injured and weak little boy. When the soldiers claim they are on his side, the little boy opens up and introduces himself. The soldiers laugh as the boy shakes hands with the commander and suggests he also introduce himself. The soldiers are full of affection for the little boy and gather around him. They give him water and feed him. Even the usually stern commander takes care of the child. A nurse named Katya, who bandages Sergei's wounds, is also charmed by his personality. The boy asks her to draw a tank on his wound because he wants to become a soldier when he grows up. Even the injured soldiers talk to the boy and feel at ease. Sergei is fascinated by the commander's gun and his badge. The commander answers all the boy's questions and lets him play with his honorary pistol after removing the bullets. Sergei shows him the tank drawn on his stomach and boasts that he is also a soldier. The boy's wounds heal quickly. Nurse Katya asks the commander to let the boy stay at the camp, but he disagrees, thinking it's unsafe. He wants to send Sergei to an orphanage. The soldiers spend all their free time with Sergei. He has many visitors every day. They bring food sent by their families from afar, and even let him play with their binoculars. Sergei quickly becomes the camp pet. One day, a soldier goes to the commander and asks him to let the boy stay at the camp. The soldiers have formed a close bond with the boy, treating him like their own child. His presence alleviates the stress of war for them. However, the commander insists on sending the boy to an orphanage for his safety. The next day, the enemy attacks, and many soldiers are injured. A car arrives to take Sergei to the orphanage. The commander tells the boy the news and gives him a wooden honorary pistol as a gift. The boy, in turn, hugs him, saying he is worried about the commander's safety. The commander hugged him and changed his mind. He asks Sergei to stay with the soldiers as his son. That night, the soldiers find small soldier clothes for the boy, overjoyed that Sergei is staying. The commander wakes Sergei and gives him the clothes. He puts them on and runs around like a real soldier. Others start calling him their little soldier boy. As the boy runs around, the Germans launch an air raid on the camp. The soldiers quickly take Sergei to a safe place and fight with the others. The number of injured soldiers increases rapidly. Sergei wants to be useful and brings water to the thirsty soldiers. One of them asks him to read a letter from his family because his eyes are bandaged. The little boy wants to help, but can't read. He picks up the letter and starts making up the contents, saying the soldier's cow is safe at home. When the soldier says he doesn't have a cow, the others tell him to continue making up the story and laugh. He reads the others' letters in the same way and cheers them up. In the next scene, we see Katya and the commander talking. The two seem attracted to each other but haven't confessed their feelings. Later, Sergei tells the commander about his role as an orderly in the camp and starts introducing himself. However, the boy then sees a soldier's post destroyed in the attack. The commander teaches him to take off his hat to pay respects to the fallen soldier. Sergei's godlike actions don't stop there. During a message delivery, he suddenly asks the receiving soldier to dance to get the letter. In the trenches, the soldiers of the warrior nation start dancing awkwardly, and Sergei dances along, filling the camp with rare joy. Even more astonishing is Sergei's scouting talent. Once, while scouting with binoculars, he spots a German boot sticking out of a haystack. With his keen observation, he runs back to the camp to report. Scout Andrew leads a team to the spot, sets the haystack on fire, and indeed finds 2 German spies and a radio. Without Sergei's cleverness, the entire camp might have been bombed by enemy planes. The commander, both proud and concerned, asks why he didn't claim credit, but Sergei calmly says, "I still have to deliver the message." Arriving at the trench, he finds the soldier he was supposed to deliver the message to has already fallen, and he takes off his hat in silent tribute. That night, the commander shows Sergei the legal documents for his adoption. He is now officially the boy's father. Knowing the commander's feelings for Katya, Sergei takes him to confess his love to her. But seeing her talking to another man, they mistakenly think she is interested in someone else and walk away silently. The base is attacked by the Germans again. This time, Sergei does his best to help the soldiers, supplying ammunition to the frontline soldiers, but they order him back to the hut because it's too dangerous outside. When he reaches the hut, he sees the commander and others panicking because the phone connection with the colonel has been cut off. A soldier is sent to fix the broken wire. Sergei follows the soldier, sees him fatally wounded, and asks the dying soldier how to fix the wire, then does it himself. The connection is restored, and more troops are called in. The 6-year-old boy saves everyone's lives. Sergei is not only a little hero, but also a godlike assist. He shouts to Katya that the commander is injured, so she rushes to treat him. It turns out the commander is just sleeping, not injured. The commander finally confesses his love to her and asks her to become Sergei's mother. Katya is overjoyed, but before she can speak, a soldier approaches them and gives the commander a letter saying they have been dispatched from the base. The next day, all the soldiers take Sergei to their new base. However, on the way, they encounter a minefield, which destroys some of their vehicles. The commander is injured, and Sergei's close orderly from the camp dies in the explosion. He cries and hugs the commander. They continue their journey to the new base with the injured. When they finally reach another base, they meet the commander's superior, the general. He is also impressed by the boy's aspirations and congratulates the commander on having such a smart child. The next day, their division is awarded the Guards banner, and the boy is also honored. When the general gives him the badge, he promises to save his country. The command post is bombed, and the commander is trapped in the rubble. Sergei, disregarding the danger, rushes forward, crying, "Daddy!" and brings soldiers to rescue him, but injures his hand. The brutality of war has made this 6-year-old boy experience too much loss, but with his innocence and courage, he has warmed the hearts of every comrade. Soldier Boy is based on a true story. Sergei's prototype is the youngest soldier in World War II, who fought at the age of 6 and even participated in the Battle of Stalingrad. After the war, he entered a military school, later worked in the legal field, received honorary medals, and passed away in 1990. Sergei's luck contrasts with the cruelty and ruthlessness of war. This underrated masterpiece combines warmth, war, and inspiration. Sergei with his innocence and fearlessness, tells us, even in the darkest moments, we must light the way with hope. Every frame of the film is filled with power, intertwining the cruelty of war and the warmth of humanity, making it both tear-jerking and exhilarating.